Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Louise Houghton.
Hello and welcome to our Euromaxx highlights. Before we get started, let's take a look at what we have coming up in the next half an hour. Born to Fly, Felix Baumgartner on his record-breaking space jump. Breakdance blockbuster, a video clip by Juba Films that goes viral. And dining in style, the corporate cafeteria gets a makeover. Now, how many times did you lie in bed as a child and dream that you could fly? Well, one Austrian man never gave up on his dream and went to the edge of the earth to achieve it. You've no doubt heard his name all over the news. It was, of course, Felix Baumgartner, who successfully jumped 39 kilometres from the Earth's stratosphere. We caught up with him to hear more about his experience and see what he has his sights set on next.
Felix Baumgartner likes to present himself as a hero. His tattoo says, "Born to Fly." But since his latest stunt, everyday life for this Austrian has changed.
I want to say thank you to everybody.
He's something of a star now.
And let me tell you, when I was
At the airport in New York, there were crowds with huge posters. I have a few stalkers here who follow me constantly, and autograph collectors in every restaurant. Paparazzis are always on my trail.
On October 14th, he left New Mexico for the stratosphere in a capsule hanging from a helium balloon.
T-minus 1 hour.
A team of scientists coordinated the maneuver from the ground. When he reached an altitude of 39 kilometers, he opened the hatch of his capsule and prepared to jump.
It was a very quiet moment. Up there are no sounds at all. You see the horizon and the curvature of the Earth. The sky is jet black, something you've never seen before. And at that moment, you know that of all the 7 billion people on Earth, you're the only one experiencing this.
While in free fall, Baumgartner went into a spin, a potentially deadly situation. Millions of viewers all over the world and his closest friends in the control room watched in fear. After 50 seconds, he was back in control.
There was a lot of pressure. Everyone was watching. It was hard to deal with. And with your parents and your girlfriend and your friends down there, there's one thing you don't want to do, and that's die.
After more than 4 minutes of free fall, Felix Baumgartner opened his parachute and landed safe and sound. He had set 3 world records. The first to congratulate him was his girlfriend.
My girlfriend was there with me the whole time. It's important to have those you're close with around you. It gives you a feeling of security.
Baumgartner has been a base jumper for decades. It's a dangerous hobby. He jumps from statues, mountains, and buildings and opens his parachute at the last possible instant.
right on, here we go.
His jumps grew ever more spectacular after a beverage company became his sponsor. In 2003, he crossed the English Channel on carbon fiber wings.
As a child, I always climbed trees to see the world from above. I always liked that view. As a child, you don't have many options, but I always wanted to fly.
His current project cost about 50 million euros, but for his sponsor, that was money well invested. Baumgartner's jump created a media hype. It was a perfect piece of self-promotion and marketing.
Of course, he wants to live out his narcissistic self-image, and the media provides a stage.
The internet generation in particular was following his attempt to set a record. An estimated 8 million people watched the skydive on YouTube, and Baumgartner's Facebook fans are growing by the day.
People identify with the hero. He rouses the hero in ourselves.
We've brought people back to the classroom. Before, no one was interested in the stratosphere. Now people think about it more because we work to convey this knowledge.
For science, it's also interesting that for the first time, a human has broken the sound barrier in a free fall. But it looks like this may have been Felix Baumgartner's last jump.
I think I've done everything I imagined in my life. Now I'll start something new. I had two childhood dreams. One was skydiving, which I fulfilled when I was 16. The other was to fly a helicopter, which is equally challenging and dangerous. So in principle, it's not very different, except I'm not in front of the camera.
The pilot and skydiver has already proven that he enjoys being in the cockpit when he tried to teach Formula One driver Sebastian Vettel how to fly. In the future, Felix Baumgartner plans to take part in rescue flights. For him, it's about staying in the air.
Now, if you think of a cafeteria at work, the image of a room much like a motorway service station or a school dining hall comes to mind, bare and boring. However, some companies are wanting to give their staff some pleasure at lunchtime and have had their cafeterias redesigned by some of the top names in the industry. After all, keeping employees happy on their lunch break is a sure way to boost productivity.
This is the Hamburg headquarters of Spiegel news magazine. The ground floor is home to what must be one of the most elegant staff cafeterias anywhere in Germany. The floor is made of white terrazzo, a marble composite, and the tables are black granite. The cafeteria can seat 236 diners. Over 4,000 polished aluminium panels line the ceiling. Cafeteria manager Alfred Freeman explains how the new facility was designed to reflect the prestige of the publication.
A regular restaurant with square tables, steel chairs and poor acoustics wouldn't work. This cafeteria has always been in the spotlight because it's important to the company.
The cafeteria in the old Spiegel headquarters was also unconventional in design terms, but it's no longer in use. Instead, it's now part of a permanent exhibit at Hamburg's Museum of Arts and Crafts. Its bold colour scheme was both praised and criticised when it opened in 1969. Styled by Werner Panton, the cafeteria is now considered an iconic design. So, for the creator of the new canteen, architect Peter Ippolito, following up on the original was his toughest professional challenge to date.
We were really afraid. It's an outstanding piece of design history, of course. It's hard to think of another great example of how interior design can create identity.
Peter Ippolito runs an acclaimed design studio in Stuttgart, together with Gunter Fleitz. They've designed everything from offices and trade fair stands to coffee shops and restaurants. And this isn't the first cafeteria they've designed. It's a field of architecture that has enjoyed a boom recently. As the competition among companies to attract top staff intensifies, a stylishly designed eating area can make a difference.
There's evidence that the quality of the workplace is more important than pay when people decide whether to take a job. So in that context, the staff cafeteria plays a central role.
He cites this employee bistro at a Hamburg insurance company as a sound example of cafeteria design. The space is divided into different zones, giving it a friendlier feel. According to Ippolito, modern cafeterias are places where the staff like to hang out. And in some cases, the food becomes secondary.
Ideally, it's primarily a place where people talk. Communication is crucial to any company, so a lot depends on the acoustics. Creating separate zones makes you feel less exposed. You don't have the feeling that everyone's listening to you.
Back at Spiegel magazine headquarters, staff can order their food over the company's intranet. As in cafeterias across Germany, the most popular items are standard German fare. But there's a growing range of healthy options too.
There are people who've never actually read Spiegel magazine who say, but they have a great cafeteria. That's great. I can't imagine a nicer compliment.
This cafeteria could itself become a museum piece in a couple of decades. Its predecessor from 1969 can be rented for functions. Asking price, €2,500 a night.
And moving on, we turn to a short dance film which has racked up millions of views since it was uploaded in August. The way this film pulls at your heartstrings leads you to think that it was created by a top director. However, it was the first in a series of films made by a group of students in the German city of Aachen. Take a look at this.
This is called With a Piece of Chalk, a touching story featuring classical music and the slick moves of Justin Beer, a 12-year-old from the Netherlands. The video has gone viral. It was made by 3 German students and is their biggest hit to date.
We're dancers ourselves. That probably helps when it comes to working with other dancers. We understand how they feel and how best to capture dance on film.
Juba Films, as the team is called, draws inspiration from all aspects of life. The idea for With a Piece of Chalk came when they saw Justin Beer performing at a breakdance show. Despite his overnight success, he remains pretty cool about it.
Good feeling, like on stage, like you can do what you want to do. Not like something say like you must do this and this and this.
The 4-minute film shows a boy facing turmoil at home and at school, and how chalk on the floor gives him a place to escape from it all. The film was viewed over 1 million times within a few days of being posted.
There were parts we also found kitschy. Sometimes we go over the top, which works better in comedy than with more serious issues. Still, we've been totally surprised at how well it went down.
Not all their films are so emotionally charged. Most are a blend of dance, martial arts and comedy elements. The students often play the main parts themselves. Juba Films was set up 18 months ago on a tiny budget and with lots of support from family and friends. The young men taught themselves the crafts of choreography and camera work.
Dancing really lets you express yourself and gives free rein to your creativity. And then the filming side enables you to create entirely new worlds.
The trio take care of everything, from the original concept to the special effects. Their films can take months to complete. One thing they always feature is dancing. With a Piece of Chalk has now been seen by almost 4.5 million people. Juba Films have yet to earn any money from their 6 video shorts, but they have earned a worldwide fan following.
Schokolade. Von wem? Und das ist der... Oh! Mit Herzchen, guck mal.
The fan mail was amazing. Thousands of pictures, kilometer-long letters, cookies, and wow!
And that's encouraged the trio to make more of the same. Today they're out scouting for new shooting locations in their native Aachen in Western Germany. The project is a follow-up to With a Piece of Chalk, and again stars Justin Beer. The 12-year-old's fame has already taken him to performances in the US and Asia.
I don't think about the future. Just be myself. Just dance with things.
So Justin Bieber, look out. Juba Films are confident that the prodigious talents of Justin Bieber will see them repeat the success of With a Piece of Chalk or even top it.
There's a lot more room for experimentation in dance and acrobatics. That's great for a pure filmmaker like me who doesn't dance. There's a lot of your own input. It allows you to offer something people might not have seen before.
The students do have hopes of one day earning a living from their movie-making magic. So they're putting in a lot of hard work, both behind and in front of the camera.
Paris's International Contemporary Art Fair, or FIAC for short, has come into its own as one of the most significant art fairs on the continent. The annually and privately organised fair covers a wide spectrum, from modern to contemporary artists, but newcomers are also increasingly in demand. We got a tour from a seasoned FIAC professional.
Contemporary art in every medium and style. It's all on view at the FIAC Art Fair in Paris. Controversial British artist Damien Hirst is a main attraction. The Incomplete Truth sports a price tag of 2.8 million euros. Other famous names on show at the Grand Palais include Picasso, Georg Baselitz, and Cindy Sherman.
We have a strong show this year, a lovely fair with many wonderful works and amazing galleries.
Although there is plenty of variety, provocation isn't much on the menu this year.
The fair used to be more experimental, unpredictable. Today it's a bit more conventional, but the quality is better.
There aren't many objects that I'd call provocative or overdone. It seems almost like the artists held back a bit.
Camille Menor helped select the exhibitors. There are 182 artists from 25 countries in all. He's a member of the committee that selects galleries to participate in FIAC, and he's also one of Paris's most successful gallery owners himself. This year, he's chosen works by Daniel Buren, Claude Lévesque, and the award-winning Anish Kapoor. Titled Sister, Kapoor's piece is a nearly invisible indentation in a white wall.
It's a work with a real surprise factor. You first have to find it.
But Menor doesn't only sponsor famous names, he also wants to give young artists a boost.
I bring a variety of artists to my stand. Mohamed Bourissa is 29 years old and was at the Venice Biennale. Today, his works sell for between 2,000 and 5,000 euros. And we have Anish Kapoor, an established artist, whose creations fetch over 300,000 euros. This broad spectrum draws the big collectors, and it's interesting for new and young collectors, too.
Menor spent 3 months preparing for the fair. This year's stand features the theme of transience, a concept that's also captured by the work of Belgian artist Michel François.
It's made of 2 cubes, a cube of ice that melts slowly and represents the passage of time. We have to put a new block out every evening. Next to it, there's a cube of black marble from Belgium, which symbolizes permanence and eternity.
The fair also features 51 installations and sculptures outdoors, set up in various public locations across Paris. They'll be removed at the end of the fair. This mobile library is by Tadashi Kawamata from Japan. He's also an artist represented by Menor's gallery.
We wanted to remove work from the commercial context of the art market, to make communication between the artist, the work, and the public possible here in a place that people ordinarily just pass through.
The Grand Palais is where the money is and the sales are made. Many works have already been sold or put on reserve on the first day of this 4-day event. Gerard Lazez, an art collector, is still on the lookout. His current favorite is by Romanian artist Mircea Cantor.
I really feel that this piece is very exceptional and very profound, and it's mysterious. I really like it, and I'm thinking of purchasing it. For the moment, I think also the price is very correct. It's €15,000.
Kamel Minor is also pleased. He's already sold the cubes for €40,000.
We've already broken out the champagne. All the gallery owners are quite pleased. We're off to a good start.
The economy may still be sluggish, but here at FIAC, art is doing brisk business.
Now, when was the last time that you thought how easy life would be if only you were a dog? Well, the saying "a dog's life" takes on a whole new meaning in a photo blog that Carola Kluckner has created. She's taken snapshots of pets tied to a lead, waiting for their owners, and the pictures show a range of emotions.
On a leash, left on their own, or shut out. A dog's life can be rather dull, especially when its master is getting some shopping done. Then a dog becomes a waiting dog. The pictures taken here in Munich can be seen around the globe. Thanks to Carola Kluckner. She operates the photo blog Wartehunde, or Waiting Dog. So far, she's posted pics of some 80 pooches online.
I used to live around the corner from the local supermarket, and there were always dogs waiting for their owners. At some point I realized they're not dogs, they're waiting dogs. Some are totally relaxed, others whimper or take a nap. It's always different. At times several dogs wait together. Sometimes they're cute, sometimes ugly.
Once she made her small discovery, Kluckner started seeing dogs waiting everywhere she looked. But not all of her snapshots wind up on her website.
A good waiting dog will react to me. Ideally, I make contact with it, and then I take the picture. Though sometimes it's funny when they don't look, but generally a bit of interaction with the dog makes for a good photo.
Some 5.4 million dogs live in Germany. After cats, they're the most popular animals here. Dog owners spend more than €1 billion a year on food for their pets, so it's little wonder that Carola Kluckner isn't the only creative person to make dogs her subjects. In Berlin, artist Barbara Vrede has worked with the idea of waiting dogs since 1994. It's their ordinariness that inspires her. Whether as a drawing, or as an oil painting currently on display in Berlin. But Barbara Vrede's fascination with waiting dogs also started with photos. Her collection now comprises some 400 images.
For me, a photo is interesting if the surroundings are right. Like when there's lots of loneliness and misery, and cigarette butts and wads of gum lying around, and the dog is lying on a long, empty sidewalk.
Back in Munich, Carola Kluckner now receives photos from people around the world and thanks them on her blog. But she only posts 3 or 4 new photos a month on the site. For her, it's just a pastime.
I don't think anything will come of it. I think it's just funny and not everything has to make sense. Either you get it and think it's funny, or not.
But on the web, even the most obscure topics find fans. And there's no shortage of dog lovers in the world.
And that's all for this edition of Euromaxx Highlights. Do join us again next time. Until then, thanks for watching and goodbye.